Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Apologies for the lighting. It probably doesn't look all that different to you, but my little ring light, my computer, they're all just not cooperating today, so I apologize for that. This is also take two. The struggle is happening right now. Anyway, today we're here to talk about Drake Bell. The reason why I'm talking about Drake Bell in the first place is that at one point he was declared as missing and as endangered. I was very curious about this because I immediately wondered whether it was related to what happened back in 2021 with a 15-year-old where he was inappropriately texting a 15-year-old. I'll give a small recap about that in case you didn't know, don't remember. But anyway, he was missing, people were concerned, and I immediately thought that him being missing might have something to do with some kind of legal issue, just because the last I'd heard of him, it was a legal issue. Not that he went missing, but I was wondering if something had occurred with the law. As of a couple of hours ago, it says, Drake Bell, star of Drake and Josh, is no longer considered missing and endangered. The Daytona Beach Police Department has updated a post seeking information to help them locate actor Drake Bell with news that the actor has been located and is quote-unquote safe. At this time, we can confirm law enforcement officials are in contact and Mr. Bell is safe. The updated post reads, an earlier post on the department's verified Facebook account Thursday had read, officers are looking for Jared Bell, date of birth 06/27/1986. He should be traveling in a 2022 gray BMW. His last known location is potentially in the area of Mainland High School on 4/12/2023. According to the post, he's considered missing and endangered. On Thursday evening, a post to Bell's verified Twitter account seemed to reference the episode, and the post said, you leave your phone in the car and don't answer for the night, and this, the tweet reads. Before that, the 36-year-old actor's social media accounts had not been updated since April 3rd, when his Twitter account had a post of his interview with a YouTuber. On Instagram, his most recent posts include videos of his infant son shared by Drake's wife, Janet Von Schmeling, dated March 6th. And then there's a little background. Bell starred on Nickelodeon's The Amanda Show and Drake and Josh in the early 2000s. In 2021, he pleaded guilty to sending sexually explicit text to a 15-year-old girl and was sentenced to probation. We're gonna get into that in a second. That's the last I'd heard of Drake Bell. I am gonna say his reaction to me is a little bit weird. Like, you leave your phone in your car and don't answer for the night and this. So I thought about multiple scenarios here, because two real scenarios. One of them is he's at home, right? In the sense of he's at home with his wife and his kid, like he's not traveling. So if he didn't come home when he was supposed to and his wife couldn't contact him, didn't know where he was, I'm assuming she might have contacted friends, family, whatever, and if nobody could reach him and he wasn't with anyone that could be reached, it's not really that surprising that people would call the cops, right? Nobody knows where you are, nobody can locate you. Okay. The other thing is, if he had been at home and he'd left his phone in the car, wouldn't anyone looking for him that can't find him, who's close enough, like family, friends, whatever, call his wife and be like, hey, do you know where he is? Can you pass the phone over to him? Whatever. So I thought it was weird in that respect, if he was effectively at home or in his home area and returning home that night, that he couldn't really be located by anyone, or that nobody knew anything, not even his own wife, especially with a young kid. You'd think he'd be around a rather significant amount of time, not just like leaving randomly without saying anything to anyone. That was strange to me. I also have to wonder, in this day and age, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, how to live responsibly or whatever. I do think, in my experience, living responsibly is having my phone on me, for the simple matter of shit like this happens. Like, if my closest friends, my family can't reach me, they're gonna freak the fuck out, the same way that I would do that with my family and friends. If I can't reach them at all, if they're not responding anywhere in the evening going into nighttime, I don't hear anything, I might be concerned. So I don't even know why you'd leave your phone in your car. Like, what would you expect would happen if people can't reach you at all? The normal conclusion is, if they can't reach you at all and they can't reach someone with you, like the wife might be, what conclusions are people supposed to draw? And also, it just doesn't make sense to me. If you realize you left your phone in your car, go get your phone. And not to be the person who always thinks negatively, though I'm gonna be, emergencies, that's also why we have these phones, right? So just leaving your phone like that, again, having a kid especially, in every situation it's valid, but especially when you have such a young kid, I feel like I'd have my phone on me whenever I was away from them, specifically in case anything were to occur. And then the other thing is, if he had been on a trip, I feel like that's a double reason to have your phone on you, because you're not at home. People wouldn't know where to find you typically if you're in a hotel, if you're filming somewhere, who the fuck knows. I just have a weird vibe about all of this. It's very strange to me, but maybe it's just someone leaving their phone in their car thinking nothing of it. I can't relate to that at all, but maybe that's all it is. I thought the post on social media was a little bit weird as well, because it's like, wouldn't you be kind of upset that you worried people as opposed to kind of seeming pissed off? The tone. That's how I read the tone. You guys might disagree, but it kind of seemed like he was pissed off that people were worried for his well-being as opposed to being like apologetic for causing work. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Let's briefly talk about what happened back in 2021, because like I said, I immediately thought it was related to that. So I'm gonna link this article down below because I don't really want to go into this again. I think I have a video about it as well. I'll link it down below if I can find it. Drake Bell sentenced to probation for sexual text with minor. Actor Drake Bell, known best for Nickelodeon's sitcom Drake and Josh, was sentenced by an Ohio court to 1 year of probation on Monday, stemming from charges of attempted child endangerment and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. The sentence was handed down after a lengthy statement from Bell's victim, who appeared in court via video conference. The woman, now 19, said she was 15 at the time she exchanged texts of sexual nature with Bell, whom she had met through her aunt at the age of 12. "He was a hero to me," she said. The woman also said in her statement that Bell had sexually assaulted her on 2 occasions, allegations he denied through his attorney. "Every night I dread going to sleep because I don't want to see him in my nightmares," she said. "He was such a huge part of my childhood, and in return he ruined my life," she said, calling him a pedophile. So I also would like to know the context under which she met Bell when she was 12. Because it's one thing if you meet an actor on the street and ask for a picture, because there you might be 12, but it's not like you're officially meeting them, like you're at someone's house and you're at a small gathering where you're actually meeting someone, actually talking to them. This would be kind of like a fan meet in the street, you know what I mean? So if it's that, that's one thing, because they're not going to remember you, obviously. On the other hand, if you do meet them in a more family gathering, small gathering type of context, then it's more concerning to me, because if they officially met you and meet you in that kind of context where you're not really a fan, but you're meeting them as someone who knows the family, whatever the case may be, then it's harder for me to believe that they wouldn't remember you, aka have an idea of your age at least.
To be clear, this doesn't mean that there's a justification. It's more a question of if you tried to claim ignorance of, oh, I didn't know she was 15. It's like if you met her at a family gathering, you probably had an idea that she was a minor, as opposed to if you met her on the street once and she asked for an autograph, you wouldn't remember meeting her. So that's what I'm really trying to focus on. Regardless, there's no justification. I'm just wondering what exactly the context was here.
Aside from that, the text of the sexual nature. So he knew she was 15, and that's really where I need to stop. He knew she was 15. There's just really not much for me to add there, because we've seen cases where it's more nuanced, like someone lies about their age and then it's more complicated than that. But here it's like he knew she was 15 and he still went ahead and sent that type of content her way and received that type of content from her. I don't even know how that gets 1 year probation. I'm sorry, but it's like you are aware of what you're doing. You know it's fucked up. You're still going ahead with it. You're pleading guilty and you just get a year of I've thought about this rather at length and I still just can't explain it. And if I had to explain this to someone on the street, truly, I wouldn't know what the fuck to say, because it doesn't make sense to me at all. Aside from that, there are the assault allegations. I don't really want to get into that, because as far as I've seen, and granted I haven't done a massive deep dive, but as far as I've seen, there isn't much out there about these allegations in the sense that they were denied. That's all I've found. At this point, it's all extremely suspicious to me. This leaving the phone in the car, this disappearing. Obviously what happened in 2021 is a complete different category, but it's just like all of these behaviors just read as extremely suspicious to me, and that might just be me and it might just be the vibe I'm getting, but I don't know. When I see consistently, first of all, illegal and fucked up behavior with the 15-year-old, and then just strange kind of unexplainable behavior of just leaving your phone knowing full well people might look for you and get concerned. It doesn't make sense to me. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. At the end of the day, it could just be a dude leaving his phone in the car and assuming nobody was gonna care. Granted, there was just this big kind of thing on Twitter of people saying he was missing, and then all of a sudden he was found out of nowhere, and it's just very weird how all of this panned out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.